Happy time zones, Crafty here, coming with another episode from Los Palma in City Skylines. Welcome back. Today is a great day. I'm having an awesome day. I'm doing well. I'm over my cold that I've had for the last few recording episodes, so that's always a really good thing to have. So here we are. We might do some work in at Belmont Square and so forth today. And I think we need a few more roads and a bit more of a development kind of scenario. So let's add in some more roads and that sort of thing. So let's put it in another little suburb, I think. So I think we might run it through here, since there was nothing built there yet. Okay, so let's put in a roundabout, small roundabout. See what we've got here. Interesting. We don't need that big of a roundabout. No, I think we'll just go with this one. There we go. So now some roads in and off. Well, that's a big 3-lane each way anyway, so that'll be good. So let's run this up this way, I think. There we go. Run that in through here, I think, is the way to go. There we go. Now, should that have train line, I wonder. I wonder. So, yeah, we're losing money now because of the roads. That'll peter out and sort itself out pretty shortly. We'll drop this back to this one. We'll just start running these in through here. So yeah, it's been good. It's been a pretty quiet week here in the Crafty household, which is great. I like quiet weeks. Quiet weeks are great and good. No dramas, no hassles. Kids are all fairly busy with assignments and studying for tests and things that they have coming up. We're coming up towards the end of our term here, where they will go on holidays from Easter. So the Good Friday is the first week of their 2-week mid-semester break for them. So yeah, they get Easter off and then a couple more, they're like a week and a bit off after that. So that's always good to have. And they usually need the break by then, you know. So basically the school system's divided up into 4 10-week terms. This one's a little bit different because Easter's in a really strange spot, so it's a 9-week term, couple of weeks holidays. We've got an 11-week term holidays and then 2 10-week terms. So, although in the case of my eldest, he's only got an 8-week final term because he's in year 11 this year, so that makes it just that little bit different. This one we're going to make into, yeah. Okay, that all the way around there, I think. Trying to get a little bit more interest and a little bit different things happening in this area. Straight out and curl it all the way back around to here. The same thing this way, I think. Go that way. Like so, there we go. There, now we'll just put some zoning in. Actually no, water. Yeah, I thought we'd need water. So let's water. Everything that we need for water. Make sure they all get their water before we zone it, so there's no complaints to Mayor Crafty that she didn't give them water. Sometimes I tend to forget that until I see all these massive icons everywhere that they've got no water or no power. Some of these don't run so well. There we go. Now I'll run this one from down there all the way out to here. If we put this all in now, then it's done. We don't have to worry about it. Run it from here through there. This is taking, there we go. Alright. So now let's put in some zones. I think we'll zone this one. Let's put that Palma once. We might just leave that actually. Profile policies. We don't seem to have the prefer working to education thing. I'll just leave all that one for now. But we've got some demand for residential, so let's actually housing. Okay, let's now zone this. these in here. That'll help bridge this across then. We've got a little bit of commercial demand as well. So I might just put a little more commercial in up through here. And they're starting to move in there, which is what I thought would happen. Just that we slowly bring them across this way. Actually, we need a little road. Okay, now we can zone in there as well, and that will help allow for the spread of electricity. There we go, so we can watch that build up for a little bit. Population's ebbing and flowing somewhat, but we should be okay from what I can see. There's some heavy commercial in here, or high density as they call it. Let's toggle off some traffic lights. Take that off, take those off. Take those ones off. That should help that flow a little bit better. We might just put a road in. There we go. So yeah, it's all good. I'm quite happy. I'm quite pleased. So I'm recording this today on International Women's Day. It's a day that celebrates social, economic, cultural and political achievements of women in the world. It's been observed since the early 1900s, when it was a really big thing for women to enter the workforce and be able to vote. So yeah, it's purple is the colour for International Women's Day. Just happens to also be one of my favourite colours. Actually, no, it is my favourite colour, so that's always handy to have. So our residential demand's dropped a little bit now. Yeah, so it was 1908 when 15,000 women marched through New York City demanding shorter hours, better pay and voting rights. And that's when International Women's Day, I think, really started it. So the purple signifies the justice and dignity, but it's historically a combination of purple, green and white. So the purple was for justice and dignity, green symbolises hope, and the white represents purity. But it's a bit of a controversial concept of purity for women, and so they sort of got rid of the white to a bit, so now it's just purple with green. And purple with yellow represents the progressive contemporary feminism, so it's yeah. So yeah, no, it's a pretty significant day, you know. It's but I think it needs to go beyond just women. You know, it needs to be fairness for everybody and equality for everyone, for everything, in every conceivable thought and notion. You know, it shouldn't matter what gender you are, what race you are, how old you are, how young you are, what your sexual orientation is, what your likes and your dislikes. There should not be discrimination. We are individual people. And the key word is individual and people. We are people. It doesn't matter what walk of life we are. Well, at least for me it doesn't. I really, really do not like discrimination. I do not like an us and them attitude. I have a child with a disability. He has autism amongst a whole pile of other acronyms and alphabets. He's my little alphabet soup and my puzzle, and each year we solve a new piece to his puzzle, and slowly but surely I'm beginning to truly understand the beautiful boy that I actually have, and not this troubled and troublemaker. And unfortunately he doesn't fit into the square peg of society. He doesn't fit into those norms, and quite frankly I'm glad he doesn't. He is an individual who doesn't see the world as everybody else does. He doesn't cope with the world as everybody else does. And I just don't like people treating other people unfairly or unjustly or differently, because they are different. And there's nothing wrong with being different. And it's time that people became more tolerant of and accepting of people's differences. It's the same for women. Women need to be in the workforce, and when they're in that workforce they need to be treated equally and fairly, regardless of what their gender is. If they're doing the job description, then they deserve the same hours, pays and gratification and bonuses and everything else that comes along with their job title. It's the same when men go into what's been deemed as a predominantly women's workforce, as in nursing and teaching, to have historically been generally female based. It's awesome to walk into a hospital and see male nurses and, you know, males there to help, because sometimes kids just need to see a male. You know, females don't always cut it. It's the same when you walk into a school. I love seeing male teachers in schools. Nowhere near enough of them in primary school, and even less of them in high school. You know, it's... How can our young boys of today work out how to be men if they don't have role models? And it takes a village to raise a child, so you can't just say, oh, well, dad will teach him, or dad will show him. Yes, he will show him bits and pieces, but that's only one person's perspective. They need everybody's perspective. They need input from all walks of life, from all people, from all genders, from all advantages and disadvantages, so they can become well-rounded members of society. And equal pay for equal rights, I am all for that. I started off my working career before I had children working in a predominantly male industry. I was working on a farm in a piggery. I was the only female employee out of 25. They had never put a female on before, so it was a whole new learning curve for everybody. Luckily for me, I've got a pretty thick hide, and I didn't let them beat me. I didn't let them, put me down. I didn't let them do any of those things. I'm stopping at this train while I'm having a yap to you guys. It's I've never let me being female affect the choices that I make. If I want to do it, I'll do it. I will jump the hurdles that I need to do. So I went from working in a piggery, where I have my animal husbandry degree and and then I went and got a science degree, and I started working in medical research, another male-dominated profession. And I happened to work at a couple of the really big universities in Australia that again had its own bridges to cross and its own battles, and I don't give up easily, and I don't turn a blind eye. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Morally, ethically, if it's wrong, it's wrong, and I won't bend any rules. I won't turn a blind eye, and I won't turn my back on fighting for what I believe in, and particularly fighting for what's right, whether it be children or people with disabilities, people with a different sexual orientation that get discriminated against, because I've got quite a few gay friends who are awesome people, just awesome people, and they don't deserve the treatment that they get day in and day out. It should just never happen. I then went from doing that to being there and being the voice for the animals in this medical research laboratory that I work in, because some professors and scientists want to turn a blind eye just to get the results they're looking for. I'm sorry, but no. Those animals deserve a proper life. Yes, they were bred for those purposes, and it's a whole different touchy subject, and I get that. But people need to speak up for others. People need to speak up when they see the wrongs of the world. That just needs to happen. It's not rocket science. It really isn't rocket science, you know. So on this day, in International Women's Day, I stand strong with my fellow women to say, hey, we need to be equal. But it goes beyond just women for me. Everybody needs to be equal and treated fairly all of the time. Not when it suits somebody because they're looking for political gain. Not because it suits somebody because they want to get one up on somebody else. That's not how this works. That is just not how it works, nor should it ever work this way. I'm going to put a couple of parks in, but I've just had a look at our recording time, and we're pretty well overdue. Well, not overdue, it's not that long. We're sitting at about 22 minutes, but I think I will call it a day very shortly, just so you guys can take a break from me ranting over something I'm quite passionate about. So we're not going to put any schools in this area. That might save them and help boost up our workforce area through here. We do need police though. So let's put in some police stations just to cover these areas while we're building them up. You're not covered. Very good, you are now. Let's just keep putting them in. We'll put some fire ones in as well, just to keep it all hunky-dory. And everybody covered where they need to be. We also need some medical. Let's put in some crematoriums. Not enough money, okay, we need to. But anyway, I'm going to say hooroo and have a good day and talk to you later. Hooroo.